What I'd like to do is introduce you to Jay Marciano, welcome you here.
Thank you, Harvey.
I think
nice
this is your first MIDEM that you've been to. And let's just talk about Madison Square Garden Entertainment and the fact that your parent company, Cablevision, is so dominant in New York. And first of all, can you just tell us what you have under your control?
Sure. Under the MSG banner, we have the three professional sports teams. We have the Knicks, we have the Rangers, we have the Liberty. Of course, we have Madison Square Garden. We have the MSG network, which is a regional sports network, which is also available high def into our cable footprint, and primarily broadcast the sporting teams and the sporting events in the New York metropolitan area. And then we have the division which I oversee, which is MSG Entertainment. And within MSG Entertainment, it's a fairly easy business model to understand. We have sort of the bookings and venue part of the business, and we have our productions business. I think when I took the job, most people felt that we'd close the doors, we'd become the third major promoter, we would lock everybody out, and we would do what you would expect AEG or Live Nation to do, which is to say, we exclusively own these assets and we're going to exclusively book and operate. And what we've done is just the opposite. What we've done is we've opened the doors to everyone, and we've made sure that every one of those promoters and every one of those artists that are playing our venues have really successful engagements at our facilities. I think when I took the Garden over, it was doing in the high 40s, 48, 49 concerts a year. Last year we did, I think, 79 or 80 concerts. And we've done that by taking all of that marketing platform that we have available, all the cable television inventory, all of the newspaper inventory, our 6 million people in our database, and we have created an enormous marketing platform that exists for the benefit primarily of the artists and the promoters that come and use our venues. So we've taken sort of an opposite approach. We've opened everything up. So listen, it all orbits around, when you have a business like this, at least on the sort of the bricks and mortar space, it orbits around two things: ticket sales and number of events. And anything that you can do to increase both, generally some of that's going to drop into your own P&L. For
me as a promoter, this is heaven, because New York City was probably the most expensive city on the planet to,
it still is,
to promote in, even just to buy ad space. So the opportunity of what Jay's developed, which is why I was so intrigued about it, within his company, and very few companies actually know how to do it.
Well, it all starts at the top, and we are, although we're a public company, the Dolan family, which Charles Dolan is a large cable pioneer, and now his son Jim Dolan is the president and CEO. If it starts at the top, and everybody says we're going to work together on it, generally we find ways to work together.
Just talk about productions for a bit, and then I want to talk about the state of play of America.
One of the things that when I took over the business that I was very pleased to find out is that the company also owns and operates one of the world's most successful and profitable live entertainment shows, and that's the Radio City Christmas Spectacular. And that is a show that plays, it's now in our 76th year, and plays the Radio City. And this year I think we did 210 performances over an 8-week period of time. As Harvey always says, how many shows a day? And I said, on a Saturday that's 6 shows a day. So we're turning a 6,000 seat theater over 6 times a day, often several days a week, during the months of November and December. So we took the Radio City Christmas Spectacular. We then put together 4 more touring companies that went out and toured theaters. And then this past year we launched an arena version of the tour, and that also toured 18 cities in arenas in North America. I'd love to bring that over to the UK. I've been talking to Harvey about that. At some point, hopefully we can bring that show over. But that is that show, I think taught me, as having been primarily a sort of a rock and roll promoter, that as we all like to say, if you own the content, it's a beautiful thing.
Okay, we haven't got much time left, and I want to get a kind of thumbnail of what the marketplace is like in America. First of all, are you affected, sweet sales, by the economy? I guess
I think you'd have to be. I think the banks are, even if you're in the middle of a 5-year contract, the banks are looking for ways to get out of their commitments. Yeah. Sponsorship's tough. AIG was a big sponsor. Hard for them to be an on-ice sponsor for the Rangers. When they're taking subsidies from the government.
The ongoing battle between AEG, Live Nation, and now Ticketmaster and the whole management business. How do you see that shaping up into 2009?
In a way, it affects all of us because it's driven the profitability, the competition between these two companies has driven the profitability down to it's a high volume, low margin business. So you could sort of distill everything you wanted to read in all of the financial documents and the filings of certainly of Live Nation because it's a public company. But when you finish off with that, you find out that despite its global footprint and the millions of tickets that are sold on that footprint, it's still a 4% margin business. It's a little bit like the grocery store business. It's like lots of transactions, and little profitability. So and that affects everything because where does new investment capital come from? Yeah. And in a way, it's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. You've got the artist representation side of the business has done a masterful job of representing talent and squeezing the last dollar out. But as a consequence of that, it's not very attractive for new capital to come in and say, yeah, let's take a bet. Let's build a business. Let's open up new venues. Let's open up new operations. So it's not particularly, I think, attractive for capital that's looking for ways to park itself and put itself to use at this moment in time when you've got these two companies at that.
But what's interesting is, from what you were saying on the other side of it, there is still money to be had for investment in entertainment. And when you own and control that entertainment, the values start to make sense. Are you concerned about the dwindling market for using up arenas and so on?
Every one of I remember 30 years ago going to a Billboard convention and it was the same thing, where's the talent going to come from? But
it comes.
We've had artists play the Garden this year and sell out their first engagement, whether it's Kings of Leon or The Killers or My Morning Jacket, terrific new rock talent that's that's finding its way up and finding its audience. And whether one of those artists will be Elton John and have a 35-year career and be able to sell at the Garden anytime that they want to is that's still up for debate. And then there's always enough pop, whether it's the Jonas Brothers or Miley Cyrus or so at the moment, no. In fact, if anything, I see more opportunity for more talent than ever. I think that the question is whether it will really rise to the level of arena status. That's a big question mark. But there will be more talent, playing more venues probably than ever in the history of the music business.
Jay, thank you very much indeed.